Well, that's sad.
Pitiful. See what brotherhood earned them.
Yeah, Basilio's, like, definitely gonna awaken here after Fidelio's death. Like, you know, that's what they're kind of painting here.
Lord Louis, that's what it all comes down to for you, yeah? The strong are right, the weak are wrong. Doesn't matter what you were born into, there's fairness in that. We saw you as our hope. We thought that if you had a proper strong fella on top, he'd be able to put a stop to all the meaningless discrimination. But we had it wrong. You're no ray of hope. It doesn't matter to you. Killing anyone, it doesn't make you feel unclean. You're the kind of cold-blooded bastards we hate more than anything!
Do not concern yourself with this peon, Lord Luis. With my newfound power, I shall tear them limb from limb.
This way! Guards, hurry!
Step aside. You have important work to do.
Hey! Seize the criminals who murdered His Eminence!
We didn't do it, but we should probably still run. Basilio, come with us!
That would be a great time for your archetype awakening.
Shut up! What about Del? You saw what that bastard did to him!
I will not let you die in vain. Your brother didn't do this so you could get yourself killed. For now, please flee with us.
Shit!
Come, make haste.
Oh, welcome back.
It went about as well as could be expected. We wanted something nicer for his grave, but they told us something like that's reserved for Sanctus tradition.
You can expect little else in Altabri. I apologize for not being present.
We've just gotten ourselves out of the public eye. If we had gone as a group, worst case, we'd have been turned in.
I wish we could have mourned him at his home. It had to happen in the lap of the Sanctus Church of all places. I hear the Parapists typically prefer a more joyful send-off, with singing and celebration.
It's alright. Us soldier kids could never afford to be too picky. Del knew he couldn't choose where to snuff it. The fact that you were there, Lady Juna, that's enough for us.
Basilio.
Best to leave him be for a while. He's just lost the only family he had.
By the way, have you checked the Farsight mirror? The curse might be...
Unfortunately, it still hasn't lifted. Guess that means it was someone other than Forden after all.
But Forden brazenly admitted that he had been the mastermind. Luis was innocent of that crime, at least.
Someone must have cast it at Forden's command. Unless we can find and kill them in time.
We've more pressing problems at hand, don't we? Now Luis knows the prince is alive. Surely that's far from ideal.
The village is deep in the forest. It's not an easy place to find, even if you're looking. Going to the prince's side could be dangerous. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But even if we sought the real culprit, we no longer have any leads to follow.
If I might make a suggestion, perhaps we should visit my sister again. She may have some insight on the Sanctus Church's past, but that's tomorrow's concern. As for tonight, we could all use some time to rest our hearts and minds.
Killing Luis and then bringing him back really just feels like the devs, like, made a mistake. They were like, oh, what if we killed Luis and had, like, a had, like, I don't know, the church be evil or something. They're gonna be the final mastermind, but then they, like, backed down and they were like, nah. Luis was the perfect, like, mastermind, essentially. Like, final, like, poster, final villain boy. So we need Luis. I really thought Basilio was gonna awaken there, though, right when Del died.
Oh, look at you, kid. You look near dead yourself.
Does anyone die in this universe?
Del? What?
Seems you made it out in one piece, though.
Are you alive? But back there, you... Don't tell me you pulled some bloody trick. Just like Luis. Bloody hell, Del. I thought I...
Basilio. Sorry. From here on, you're taking the lead.
Was this like Basilio is like just a man like talking to Del or something? Like what's happening here? What?
But why? I can't without you. Del, I only made it this far because I followed you.
Don't give me that. You're the strong one. Me, I never knew where I was going. Basilio, protect the weak. Swear you'll do it, not for me, but for yourself. If you can do that, I'll always be with you.
Del...
Don't give me that look. Well, this one's goodbye for now. You ready? Let's hear it, Basilio. You fight. But why?
Oh, Lodestar, ye grief-racked brother. Oh,
This is also a super lackluster way to do an awakening.
Thy long stagnant stance hath finally been broken. Now choose thy path.
Not really a choice. It's back to the starting line. This time I'll lead. Ardell entrusted me with this chance. I've got to show him I've got this.
Thank you. Thou hast chosen a noble parting. O Lodestar, whose light reveals the king's own path. Henceforth, thy fears and insecurities are thy light. Awaken.
Well, Fidelio's gonna, like, basically be the archetype? This is not how you do an awakening. It feels so jarring when all the awakenings have been, like, right in the midst of, like, combat and, like, something traumatic, like, happens to them. Basilio awakening during, like, when Luis was there would have been the best place to do it. This just feels really jarring with all the other awakenings.
Del.
Alright. I guess Del is essentially his archetype, basically. Or, like, always with him or whatever, in his heart, whatever. Yeah, unfortunately, this,
Goodness, you're finally
what?
awake. You were passed out. Don't scare me like that. Not that I can blame you. After all that's happened.
Sir Basilio, there's magna flowing through him.
This is so weird.
It's the same as our power.
It's you lot. From before.
They want to pay their respects for Fidelio.
Thank you. Thank you so very
Ardell. Funny, innit? Maybe this world's not so bad.
It sucks, Basilio, that you got your awakening during, like, the last 30 minutes of just straight up, like, lackluster writing. Holy cow.
By God, what in the world is that, lads? It struck down Santifex Fallen right before our eyes. That's supposed to be impossible.
As much as I liked Fidelio, and, like, you know, Fidelio dying, like, it's sad, it's bittersweet, but, like, it makes sense. Like, Basilio, being the character that, like, has to keep pushing on because of Del, because they made it clear that, like, Del was, like, the smart one, basically, and, like, Fidelio, like, always kind of took charge. Basilio was just strong, and Fidelio was smarter. So, that was a neat dynamic they had going, and, like, Fidelio dying being Basilio's, like, motivation to go on is good. That's, like, a good way to do the two characters, and that's a good way for Basilio to, like, get an awakening, but, like, it was among this, like, really, you know, like, I don't think the last, like, 30 minutes have been Metaphor's best story. Unfortunately.
And Luis made sure it was a bloody spectacle, before an audience even. The bastard is making sport of it.
Also, it feels jarring and doesn't really make sense when, like, 6 out of 7 of the awakenings, like, they awaken to their archetype, and then you do, like, a battle with them, and, like, it clearly shows that, like, they awaken after, like, either a traumatic experience or, like, something happened in their past. And I guess that does happen with Basilio, because Fidelio dies, Basilio awakens, but, like, the way it happened was just weird. Like, where Basilio just was dreaming and had a talk with Fidelio and just awakened. It felt super out of place based on how they do all the other 6 awakenings. It's really strange. So, like, by default, it was just the worst awakening. Just because it wasn't really to be compared with the other 6.
We must devise a plan. Otherwise, even if Luis does not sway our supporters, they may lose faith in the church.
The heck is this loser? His nose sort of looks like Gru from Despicable Me, but not as long.
Before all else, we must choose a successor, but they need not share Forden's strength.
I have brought her here.
You requested an audience? Assembled lords?
Rella, we must ask your support. Let me be direct. We would like you to enter the tournament as a formal successor to His Eminence Sanctifex Fallen.
This girl? She is your plan?
Have you gone mad? I reject this proposal. If anyone is to succeed His Eminence, it should be me, as his trusted right hand.
She sense. Strength alone means nothing. And without that, you have nothing worthy of the people's loyalty.
Rella, will you not speak? Surely you feel what they ask of you is beyond your station.
Well, that is...
You are wise beyond your years, Rella. Surely you understand. What the lost children need now is not a righteous avenger, but a refuge from their fears. The people would flock to a saint who dwells among her people. Already many would rejoice to see you rule as queen. Rella, will you answer their call?
This is all rather sudden.
Of course, you would have our full support. Naturally, we will make arrangements so that the tournament's next round turns in your favor.
Even so, I am unfit to be queen.
Allow me to clarify. This is not exactly a request. Would you rather have that tyrant Luis become king?
Well...
Hey, sounds like we've got big news. I just heard from the pack of Sanctists. I figured they'd shove someone up to take Forden's place. But where it is, it'll be Saint Rella. Gonna be an announcement tomorrow.
Yeah, Gina's not gonna be happy about that.
The mourning for Forden's barely started, and they're already lining up his successor. And Rella, at that. Going for popularity over power, it seems.
They're getting careless. Though, thinking about it, maybe it's a smarter choice than it seems.
But, say Saint Rella wins against Luis, becomes proper queen and all gets to do what she wants. Doesn't that tidy this whole thing right up?
I wouldn't be so sure.
No, this can't be her own decision. Just the idea of being queen would put her stomach in knots.
The politicians must be trying to make her their puppet. Perhaps it was an order she could not refuse.
This isn't good. Probably not the best time to talk to her either.
But that's got to mean they're keeping the tournament going, right? Then they'll probably announce the next challenge once Rella's candidacy goes public.
Either way, I don't like it. This is all escalating too fast for my tastes. All the support Forden had campaigned for will likely just go straight to Rella with hardly a dent. If Luis and the Sanctist Church are trying to reclaim the status quo as the two pillars of government, that'll be a tough lead to shake. After all, just lifting the curse isn't going to be enough to restore the prince to the throne.
Indeed. Luis versus Rella. Frontrunner and runner-up with no ties to the royal family between them. Everyone will see plain that popularity's eclipsed royal right. His Highness himself will have to win this battle on the faith of the people, or his claim to the crown will never be acknowledged.
Besides which, Luis now knows that His Highness lives. His whereabouts have not been discovered, but the Kingslayer will take up the hunt.
So many obstacles. What do we do?
We have to keep trying to break the curse, but we also need to get people to support the prince's claim to the throne. To move forward, we need to buy time.
I know one way to keep a VIP protected. A classic tactic, really. The military does it all the time. We use a body double. You're supposed to be a dead ringer for the prince, yeah?
You mean he pretends to be the prince? That's absurd. You realize it's a capital offense to impersonate royalty?
I don't know, long as they don't find out.
I'm in. As long as they don't find out.
You can't just casually drop an "I'm in" on this.
I can do whatever I want.
Ardell was right about you being mental. I think we could pull it off, though. The prince has been gone ages. Nobody's in a position to point out differences.
Wait, just think about this. He's elder. The royal family's Clamar and have been for generations. His appearance would be the least of our worries.
If I may. His Highness the Prince lacks the Clamar horns. Some rumors suggested 'twas not some miraculous feature of the prince alone, but a mark of Elden blood. I've heard no confirmation either way myself, but at the very least, 'tis a tale any aristocrat is bound to have heard in passing.
In other words, with an elder claiming the prince's name and a known royal knight to vouchsafe him, we'd have enough plausibility to shake the nobles to their core.
Of course, all this means little, unless our double himself is willing. What say you?
I can't back down now.
Wow. You never do, you know?
Your resolve has been challenged many times over, and never have you strayed. I am humbled once more. I pledge my soul to this gambit.
Listen, I know we had a bunch of stuff go down. Gallica had nothing to do with it, but Gallica rank 7 would be sick right about now.
Good. Then we declare ourselves tomorrow, where this announcement's going to take place. Seems like the optimal place to make sure we're heard.
Right then, Looks like I'll have to give the old girl a polish worthy of a prince. My cue as well. From here on, it's nose to the grindstone until my magnum opus is finished. Can't let the lad be the only one with his life on the line.
Oh, I get to move around? We have no clue what might happen in a situation like this, so once we're done with our preparations in the city, let's focus on tomorrow. Remember, the monks have their eyes on us. Let's keep our shopping to the Blue Sky Bridge area and return to the runner at night.